What is up, guys? This is the first time I'm trying to film on my new phone. I bought a new phone, the iPhone 11 Pro, and I'm just gonna try pretty much film a lot of today on my phone and see how it goes. Pretty much specifically bought this phone because of its camera abilities. So I'm really hoping that the camera's all right. Obviously, to take photos it is good, but to actually take video and get good audio through that video is going to be another thing, because that's one thing that my phone always struggled with before, was just the audio was terrible. So I'm gonna give it a go, see how it goes. Hopefully it's okay. But it can do like full wide angle, which is nice and cool.
Really?
And then it can zoom.
Whoa!
Right
Look
in.
at all the things on the fucking
there's
thing.
like three Cameroonies on the bloody thing. Look at it. Oh. There. Full wide angle. Pretty wild. We're in the audit today. We are going out to the workshop in the audit.
Into audit.
Into audit.
Comfy audit. The nice drive.
Nice to drive at the comfy audit. Not bad. So pretty much today, Adam's taken all his intercooler piping off the cressy. So he tacked it all up in situ. We're taking it out to the workshop so Adam can actually purge it and weld it up properly. So I'll get some footage of that. I have my new oil cooler for the 31. So I can work on getting that mounted up in the front of my car, which is going to be a bit of a jittering around. So that's good to get that underway, because it is now T-minus 13 days to Matsuri and my car is not even close to being ready. So that's interesting. How's this year? I was like, I'm gonna have a car that's finished. It's gonna be ready way before Matsuri. It's gonna be shaken down. It's gonna be mint. It's not gonna be a rush job. I'm gonna be ready for Matsuri. I'm gonna get there. It's just gonna be drive. It's gonna be sick. And now it's 13 days out from Matsuri, and my car is not ready.
It hasn't been touched since
morning sesh. So anyway, I finally got some work. So I've been a bit busy. It's good that I got work, but it means that I was so busy doing nothing, but didn't want to spend the money to get it ready before, and now I'm working and I don't have the time to get it ready, and it's getting very close. So anyway, it's just the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, mate. Well, we did a lot the day before morning sesh,
yeah.
So like, I reckon it'll be alright. We could leave it to the night before.
Yeah, honestly, it's not actually that much work that has to be done. The most work is that I've got to refab another dump pipe.
Yeah, which will be easier than...
It's not that hard because I've already got the flange and everything there. So it's not actually that bad. It's just a matter of getting out there to do it. So all the stuff that I've ordered for my new hot side, like all of my new fittings, stuff like that, all my gaskets that I needed at the Repco, I just need to go get them. Obviously I've been working on weekdays, and then was busy yesterday helping Liam go get his new R31, which if you haven't watched that video, go watch it. Yeah, and so I haven't been able to get to the shop on a weekday to actually go pick up all the stuff. So that's why I just jumped in with Adam today, because I need to be coming into the lead up with Matsuri. I need to sort of be a bit careful with my money, because it's going to cost me a shitload. So I didn't want to drive all the way out there without all the stuff I need to do the hot side, but Adam wanted to go out to do his welding anyway, so I thought I'd jump in and we'll go out and get some stuff done instead of sitting around all day doing not much. Yeah,
it was either sit around doing fuck all, or go out to do a bit of welding and fuck around. So
alright. So anyway, get a bit of progress happening today if we can get that done. If I can get that oil cooler mounted, that's going to be a big leap forward, because I actually have to refab a fair bit of my intercooler stuff to fit my oil cooler between the intercooler and the radiator. So that's my plan for today. That's all I've really got on me. Oh, hey you Falk! What a vehicle! You got all this car, and where are all your cup holders, mate?
Don't need them.
What's that tiny one for? Just all your Red Bulls?
That's for beer bottles.
Oh, for your martini, fucking dry martinis.
Yeah. Right, exactly right. Yeah.
Gonk.
No, at least it has cup holders.
So I was just playing around in the settings on the phone for the camera, and I found the settings where you can actually change the resolution. So you can film in 4K. Let's switch it to 4K. I generally used to not particularly like the idea of 4K, just because it makes files so much bigger, it makes it so much harder to work with while editing. But figure it needs to happen at some point, so I might as well start looking at doing some 4K stuff when I'm doing this sort of filming. Probably still won't be doing 4K in-car footage, because I need higher resolution for need higher frame rates for that sort of stuff, and that's when it really starts getting a pain in the ass. So, Adam's really complaining about his coffee that's way too hot.
Oh yeah, again, every time. fuck.
Nothing worse than your brand new coffee and it's too hot to drink.
Yeah, you just want to smack it back like a tin, and you just gotta wait like fucking half an hour.
Well,
Right.
you gotta wait 2 tins before you can smack back your coffee.
Yeah.
What the hell is going on here? Is I and not Ali. Righto, so we have eventually made it. It's taken us a fair while, but we're here. We got here. We're here. We're totally here. So I was just unpacking all the crap, and we've got to try and tow the big old Skyrine into this bay so I can start mounting up my oil cooler and stuff. So now we've got like half a day instead of a full day. So this is my new oil cooler, eBay sponsored. Actually, before I even unbox this, I'm going to get the 31 inside because it's going to make a mess, which I'm not about to deal with right now. So we'll do that first.
You sponsored now, mate.
Sponsored?
Sponsored?
What do you mean?
You said eBay sponsored.
Oh.
Taking the piss out of you.
You're always taking the piss, mate.
That's all I do.
Alrighty, we is back on the GoPro. I had to go through and change all of the settings on my GoPro and my actual camera back to NTSC because that's what the iPhone records in. So it records 30 FPS because NTSC. So I had to change everything back to NTSC so I could record 30 FPS. So that they're not different frame rates and they don't do the weird speedy up thing that it used to happen in my videos. So
Yeah, that was annoying.
it's funny, you actually can't record 4K on the GoPro unless it's in wide. Which the GoPro already has a pretty wide lens, or wide angle as it is, in linear, as you can see now. And my actual big camera can only record 4K at like 24 FPS, which is like your movie FPS sort of thing. So ironically, I can only record 4K on my mobile phone, not the other 2 cameras that I have, which is pretty ironic. So, a wild Rex has appeared. Rex has some V80 updates, just quickly. There's a new intake made out of, or the crossover part for the intake's been redone out of 2-inch.
Yeah, made out of 2-inch. It's unbelievable how much extra space there is just in going down that ½ inch in diameter.
So, obviously, with the newer turbos, the outlet for the compressor housing is only 2-inch, so there was not really any advantage of keeping this all 2.5. The other thing is going to 2 inches freed up a lot more space behind these fans, which means more airflow and hopefully more cooler.
And put new fans in it too.
Oh, and yeah, Rex, we had one laid dead fan, which was a problem at that Salubrious Stay in the Dirt video you might have seen. And it wasn't actually doing too bad with one fan, so now with this little bit of more space for air and an extra fan, and Rex also put a new condenser on.
New aircon condenser.
Which is going to be probably a bit more airflow as well. So got a shiny new aircon condenser in there, which is going to help with airflow. So hopefully all these things coming into summer, this is getting a bit hot out here, will keep this thing a bit cooler. Little bit cooler.
Makes it sound just a little bit cooler.
It is nice.
So we've got Adam here pretty much ready to do some welding. He's setting up ready to weld all this pipe. He's also going to weld this cast alley elbow to the elbow. So yeah, not bad at all. So it's time for me to get started on the 31. So this is my new Blue kit. So these are the 2 lines it comes with. It's just a sandwich plate. I decided not to go with the relocation kit this time around just because I don't think it's very necessary. I just went for the sandwich plate. So hopefully that clears everything. Should do, because the last one did. Actually the last one had fittings on the end, so hopefully those fittings clear everything. We'll find out. This has got 2 different spines, or for your 2 different sort of filters. So it's a pretty universal kit. 1 clamp for the lines and big old 30 row coolie boy. So plan is to mount this in between my radiator and intercooler. So down in here, obviously that way the viscous fan is always drawing air through the cooler, which means it's going to be a very efficient unit altogether. So what I'm thinking is I'll probably have to fab my cooler out a little bit. I've got enough room to move it out a wee bit, so shouldn't be a real big issue. Can just trim up those little things if I need to, but that's the plan, is to have it sandwiched in there so that it's always drawing air through the whole thing and it's nice and efficient, and then just run the lines around down into the sandwich plate and leave the filter on the side of the motor. So this is what I've ended up with. You can see all my little brackets that I made up. They're all alley, so I'm just going to leave them bare for now. There's not really a need to paint them to seal them. And I've just put this high density foam all around the high parts of the cooler, just in case for any reason it does contact the radiator or intercooler in the front of it. So put that on both sides, just on the highest parts of the cooler. These bottom ones just go into the rad support with some nut certs, or riv nuts, whatever people want to call them these days. Just a couple of nut sets in the bottom of the rad support, and then obviously it mounts off the top of the intercooler mount as well. So it actually turned out I had enough room in between the intercooler and the radiator. I don't actually have to move anything, so it actually turned out to be a bit easier than I thought. And now it's just a matter of whacking it all in and put them back together. The lines are long enough. I checked the line length. They're going to be long enough to reach where I want them to reach, so it's going to work out pretty well. Should be good. So I'll whack it all back together and see how it goes. And here we have the final product, obviously with no intercooler still, but you can see the reason I haven't painted these is because, as you guys know from when I did build this car, I still plan on actually pretty much painting the entire front of this car. As you can see, the rad support, everything's a bit sad. The intercooler mounts all need to be painted anyway. And these are alley, so obviously I'm not worried about them rusting and not being sealed. So I figured they'll be fine for now, and obviously when it comes time, the day to actually pull this all out and repaint it, as well as the rear. The rear needs painting too. It's pretty sad down there, so all that stuff needs painting, so I figured I'll paint it all at the same time one day. But that's sort of how it all works. As I said, nut certs in the support, and I just mounted it in the middle. I was going to offset it, but I figured if I put it in the middle, it makes it actually quite easy to get at these lines. Once the grill's out, very easy to get at these oil lines if they're leaking or if something's happening, so that makes it real easy. The other thing is having it mounted upright means you don't have to particularly worry about your oil levels because this will never drain empty of oil. One thing you do have to worry about if you're mounting them upside down or on their side and they are higher than the sump level is obviously when you start your car, your oil pressure is going to fill the cooler full of oil, and when you stop your car, it's going to drain back into the sump. What this causes a bit of an issue. It shouldn't drain too much because of the way it depends on how your feed for your cooler and your filter is set up, but on a lot of cars it does drain. And the problem this presents is that with your car off, you will get a different oil level reading to when your car is running. So people who run like massive coolers that are on the side or upside down with all the fittings on the bottom, the cooler may hold up to sort of nearly half a litre of oil if you're running a really big one. And yeah, the issue you have is that as soon as you start the car, you're then losing half a litre from the sump, which can cause a lot of issues with the pickup. So gives a bit of an incorrect reading. What you do in that situation is before you install the cooler, fill it full of oil and then drain it off into a measuring cup so you can see what the capacity of the oil is. And that way when you do your oil changes, you can fill the car up to full in the dipstick, plus then add X amount to account for the size of the cooler. So anyway, that's just a little bit of assurance for you for people who are doing that. As for me, like I said, it's upright, doesn't matter to me. it's always going to stay full of oil. So yeah, nah. It's pretty nice and protected there. Obviously, where it used to be down here, it's was a bit out of the, you know, not too good. Actually, the old one did cop a trailer ramp a couple of times, just a bit of a shunt. Never damaged it, but you know, just over here was a bit more exposed to bad things. Tucked up in there between the intercooler and the radiator. It's nice and protected, out of the way. Plus, like I explained, the fan's always drawing air through the cooler, so it should be working very efficiently. You can see how close that is, but like, it's a very solid mount. I'd be pretty worried if I might actually just chuck a bit of foam on that just in case, but if that punctured your radiator, you've got some pretty other big problems. So gonna have that, and then it's the cooler, and then it's the Rio. So you'd have to punch something pretty hard for it to push the Rio back into the cooler, into the oil cooler, and punch that into the rad. So I will just cut a few more bits of this foam to chuck on the back of those, and I'll be happy. Very good. Adam's doing some weldy, boys.
Wow.
How's that going, mate?
Oh, I've got a story to tell you.
Oh, you got a story?
Yeah. So I had the position there like that, and I was welding this one, right? And then it was like, and I was like, oh, what was that? And I lifted it up. Oh!
Oh no.
Yeah, it just earthed like a fucking
Yeah,
retard.
yeah.
So that's like right where you see too. So that's the intake and it's the bay.
Can you
So
polish that out?
yeah, I'm hoping they'll be able to make it invisible.
Yep.
But
Have you decided whether you're going to polish them out or leave them yet?
I'm gonna put them all together and see how it looks. Leave it like that for a little while, and then be like, oh, I'm sick of the colours, and then might polish it out later.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, if I do polish it, I'll probably re-weld it because I'll put a bit more filler in it, so
Yep.
it's a bit beefier.
Yeah, but at least you won't have to purge it and shit again, because you won't be penetrating the whole thing again, will you?
I guess not. In theory, no. But like, if I did get a little bit of penetration and it goes shitty, that'd be gay. But
Yeah, well.
I think that's a later job. I'll just get it together and it'll, you know, I'm happy with it for now.
Nice.
Yeah. Except for that bit.
Is that your last cooler piping in?
Last cooler popping.
Oh yeah, and then
Just
you got your
me
intake, and then the cast bit.
Dose. And then
Oh, you're looking forward to that one, mate?
yeah. Well, I've never welded a fucking
Cast alley.
to anything.
Yeah.
So,
Pretty sure we've talked to people about it before, and they pretty much reckon the secret is just to get it fucking clean as you can. Like, just make
Yeah.
sure it is so clean.
yeah. Basically, yeah, pretty much.
Because we did talk to someone about welding up a cracked gearbox casing once, and that's what he said to us, was just make sure it is just ridiculously clean
Yeah.
as you can possibly get it.
Pretty much. That's, yeah, pretty much.
Are you very worried about beads, or are you pretty happy just to leave them?
I'll just leave it for now,
Yeah.
and then if it has pops off,
Yeah,
then
that's pretty much exactly what I decided with mine. Yeah.
I've got a mate that's got a bead roller that I can just go to his place and just. So,
Ryan,
Yeah, Ryan.
you reckon it'll roll stainless?
Yeah, shit, yeah. His one does like heaps
Oh,
of
okay.
stuff.
I thought it wouldn't do stainless because it's too hard.
Yeah, no, he
If
bought
not,
it.
you can just weld a bead around it.
Yeah, I've done that before for a com truck, for a job actually, but yeah, it should be alright. They're pretty tight in the silicone joiner, so yeah. But
Nice.
Most of the ones on the cruiser don't have beads, and I don't have problems with it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Having said that, I have popped 3 cooler hoses.
Yeah, I don't have problems with that except for the 3 cooler hoses that I popped off.
yeah.
Ironically, those were all ones with beads on it, weren't they? Because that was the ones off the collector.
Yes. Yeah, they were actually.
So
Yeah.
you've only had problems with the ones with the beads.
I actually popped one when I put that new intake on it, took it for a drive the other day.
Yeah.
And it's the one that let go was the 2.5-inch joint at the Y piece, and it does have a bead.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
But,
right.
yeah, if you actually do the clamps up, they seem to stay on.
Yeah. Well, I got
Apparently.
T-bolt clamps, and I've made sure that they go in like
Yeah.
nice and flat, no weird angles or anything.
Yeah.
T-bolt clamp, like, should be right.
Yeah. Well, I've had no problems with mine. So here we have it all finished. Intercooler's back mounted. It's intercooler sort of rubs on it. I put another lap of that foam on the back of the cooler as well. Intercooler. So yeah, even with all that stuff in, it's still very easy to get at my lines there. And yeah, all sort of works out pretty damn well. Pretty happy with it. So yeah, that should be good. Should be a good thing. Should keep it all nice and cool. So hopefully this brings my oil temps nice and under control. And yeah, that'll be good. So hopefully it means now that I can just turn laps and continue to turn laps until I run out of tyres, and hopefully this thing all stays cool. So there is, I suppose, a bit of argument that it restricts flow to the radiator, putting it in front of the radiator, but obviously that argument means Like, you know, with your oil temperatures coming down, consequently, all of your operating temperatures are going to come down as well. So as long as the cooler is efficient, it's not going to affect it that much. Not to mention the fact that you got so much more of the radiator here. You got like all of this, and yeah, like all around the sides and everything. Plus you got the shroud with the fan. Like, it should all work pretty damn well. So I'll be interested to see how this goes at Matsuri. We are, yeah, as I was saying, start of this video, I think we're about 13 days out from Matsuri. And as you can see, car still has no hot side on it. So, yeah, that's uncool. But anyway, hopefully that'll be this week's job.
Yeah.
They're ridiculous.
What y'all filming?
Just some welds and shit.
Ah.
Sitting in a gas bag and wasting gas.
Oh, there's no gas flow?
Ah, good. Good. Good, mate, good. Damn right, there's no gas flow. Righto, so I've got sort of the sandwich plate just about ready. One thing with eBay stuff, like, it can be used, it's always not too bad, but always take a good look at how everything is put together and how it is, because sometimes they are very defective. As you can see, this one here, if I can show it to you good enough. See on that fitting, you can sort of see the O-ring. Come around into the light. Where like the block almost, right there, you can see where the block pretty much doesn't come out far enough for the O-ring to actually seat properly. Not going to be surprised if that weeps a bit of oil, but with a good look over it, can sort of see and know what to look for when you're looking for whether it's going to be working or not. Apart from that, just put heaps of thread tape on the bungs for the, those are for pretty much oil pressure senders or feeds for turbos, that sort of thing. They're just 0.8 MPT bungs. So a heap of thread tape on them. I also put thread tapes on the fittings as well, as they have those rubber seals. So hopefully they seal up all right. So now it's time, I'm just going to pull my filter off and mount this up. Then I can get my lines on this end, run them where I want to run them, and then that way I can basically, what I want to do is re-terminate this end so that they are re-terminated for the correct length. So I don't want to have heaps of length that I've got to try and lose anywhere. So I want them to sort of be terminated nice and neat. So thought I'd start at this end, put them in there, and then I can terminate this end out the front of the car, because it's a lot easier to do that out here than it is to try and re-terminate this end inside there. So that's why I've decided to do it this way. So pull this filter off and chuck this back on. Alrighty, so put the lines on the cooler. Not bad. That'll go up there, and I'll actually use that up here to keep them clamped up there. I was going to run them on the back side of the cooler, but they actually ran pretty well there, and they're actually the right lengths to run that way. So I've just left them, and it also keeps them, without running them underneath the cooler, it keeps them off a sharp edge down here. So it sort of worked out pretty well, and I just left them. And then down here we've got the old sandwich plate in there, which is pretty hard. Before I put that on, I also put the spline into the filter and made sure that the nut on the spline wasn't too big that the filter wouldn't seal, and it wasn't. The filter's going to seal. And I also made sure that the block sealed to the actual engine block properly as well, and that there wasn't too much thread. So with these kits, I have had them before where, especially the relocation kit, because it just comes with another spline. I've had it before where the spline actually protruded too far, like into the block for the filter or for the relocation, and it actually covered a large portion of where the return oil actually had to go into the return gallery for the system. So things like that, when you're buying eBay stuff, that's the sort of stuff you really got to look out for. Manufacturing faults and stuff like that, because they are cheaply made. So as long as you look into that sort of stuff before you go installing it on the car and fix it up, usually they are pretty good. Like that other one that I was just explaining that I had that problem with, I just trimmed the thread down so that it didn't protrude too far into the block, so that the oil had plenty of actual flow and room to get back into the return gallery on the block. And it was fine, I never had a problem with it. So but it is issues like that you want to be looking for. So when you're installing the stuff, you don't want to just buy it and just mindlessly go chucking it on. You really want to pay close attention to everything, the way it's built, how it works, because often those are the sorts of faults that will bring you unstuck. Like you could buy a cheap oil filter kit like that, miss that, cover half your return gallery with the spline, and then bin your entire motor, essentially, is a possibility. So it is important to look out for stuff like that. So just be on the lookout for stuff like that when you're installing these cheap eBay kits. This kit, I'm pretty sure is about $214, 30 row kit, just a sandwich plate, no relocation. Previously I had another relocation kit, which Rex had actually bought for his 31. He plans on installing that on his R31 when he redoes the setup on it. And I had my filter mounted like up here on the wheel arch, but I don't know. I'm at the point at the moment where I actually want to move this catch can over to that corner. Or I want to get a new catch can and relocate it to that corner. And I wouldn't mind actually putting a breather from the sump to the catch can as well, considering how much blow-by this motor has actually got at the moment. I'm also just going to see how the new turbo goes at Matsuri and see if that's going to be a problem as well. Because if it bins a turbo at Matsuri again, I'm going to maybe consider thinking that it might be a blow-by issue, pressurizing the return for the turbo. And at that point, I would really like to put a breather in the sump as well. So I would like to build a new catch can, put it over in that corner, and that gets just about everything off as long as I get it, sort out a new power steering reservoir. It gets almost everything off the tubs, the wheel arches at the front of the engine bay. So both of these do pretty much nothing. This overflow bottle's not really connected properly, and the windscreen washer bottle doesn't actually work. So get rid of them, and then I've actually could tub this. So I sort of just wanted to keep stuff out of this area that didn't need to be there. So that's why I just decided to put this on. Plus, with the hoist and that, it's really not that hard to get at the filter where it is. So I was like, I'll just leave it there. So anyway, it's time now to start putting the front end back together. I'm going to chuck the Rio on and the grill and infill piece in before I do anything with these lines to make sure nothing's going to be in the way. It would also be nice to actually start the car and check for oil leaks on all this, but obviously I can't because there's no hot side on the car. So unfortunately that just can't happen at the moment, but whatever, you get that. Not much I can do about it. It's just going to have to be wait till later on in the week, but at least having this cooler mounted is a big step forward in my Matsuri prep, because I thought I was going to have to refab a bit of stuff. Didn't work out like that, but at least it's a big thing to tick off on the list of things that have to be done before Matsuri in less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
A bit of practice alley.
Yeah, just that. Refreshing myself before I fuck my turbo.
Yeah, I was going to say you sort of committed.
Yeah.
Once you start, you got to get it right.
Exactly right.
It's not like it's a piece of
I
pipe where if
can't
you
just
fucked
go
it up, you can just be like, oh, we'll get some more and try again.
No, it's the whole fucking housing.
Yeah.
Oh, a bit on the line.
Yeah.
She's risky.
Whoa, big risk.
Nah, I'd be right.
Like a bolt one. Righto, all back together. Sneaky cooler in there. Not bad. So it is an annoying place. I knew when I put it in there, it was an annoying place where like right here where there's like no airflow. But anyway, I sort of expected all this airflow up through here, coupled with the fact that the fan is drawing through it, should help. I might even take the front plate off of Matsuri, I'll see. But yeah, no, it's all in there, nice and tucked away. That should be good. So yeah, unfortunately can't check to see if there's going to be any leaks yet, but anyway, it's just going to be a later thing. And Rex has taken some welding lessons from Adam. And while Adam's here, he's having to go welding some alley up. So Adam was just giving us a bit of a crash course in alley welding. Me and Rex had a few turns. These are Adam's, because Adam knows how to weld. Rex had a few goes, and we're getting a lot better. These are mine up this end. And we're getting a lot better with alley. Just with a bit of advice from Adam. So.
Well, that's what we said from the start, is we needed someone like Adam just to give us some pointers and get us going in the right direction.
So the big thing was Adam set the welder up for us. That was a big thing we don't know, is because we've never done any of this stuff. We have no idea how to actually set the welder up. So I'm pretty chuffed with my attempts.
Yeah, no, you've done good.
Rex's are pretty clean as well. Rex's doesn't have as much filler. I put way more filler in mine.
But it's consistent though, which is good.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, a little bit beefy, but consistency is good.
But like, you look at those. I don't know if any of you remember the video back when me and Rex first bought the TIG. We had to go at Welding Alley, and
that's the piece there.
That's what we were doing back then. So, like when you look at that compared to this, it's very different. It's much better. Don't put that on camera.
Don't say that.
Oh yeah, did you just make it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, when I was
Not bad.
it kept getting.
Yeah, it's not. This one's a bit better, but
Not bad.
I mean, like I'm still like learning alley. Like I haven't had a lot of experience with alley, so
Oh, he's so modest.
I'm still learning as well.
Excuses, excuses,
I'm
excuses.
full of them. Try me. Now watch me fuck me turbo housing up. Yeah, it's coming along.
Very nice, mate.
Getting there.
Very good skill. Very cool and good.
Cool and good.
All right, oil. Finishing that. I might go rip this window door rubbers out for Liam that he keeps asking for.
Oh yeah. All right.
So as you guys would have seen from pretty much the last video that went up, Liam's bought himself another R31, a bit of a dirtier one, so he can actually track it. And he unfortunately couldn't make it out here today, so he did ask me to grab the door seals off the Pintara, because the door seals on the 31 he bought are not that great, and obviously that 31 still has carpet in it, and he doesn't want it to leak water and stink like crap. As far as this Pintara goes, it's not going to really bother it not having door seals because it's got no carpet or anything in it anyway, so not a big deal. Plus, the car is sort of kind of half Liam's. We sort of did go halves, not quite halves. I paid more for it, but and I towed it home, but it is still somewhat Liam's. So Liam plans on flogging the rear calipers and a few other things off this car, so he can set up his hydro and all that. So again, things like this where you can buy a cheap car for so little. Especially if you've got like a few people that have the same chassis, they really do come in handy. That's why I've got the extra cressy here, and I wouldn't mind getting another cressy, to be honest, for what I want to do. But anyway, pull these windows, door seals out for Liam. So I've got his door seals, but they are actually, in fact, not that great either. But anyway, I'll let him decide how much better they are than his. Very nice, mate. Very good. You almost look like a professional.
I know. Who would have thought?
Almost like you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Almost.
I pretend.
Fake it till you make it.
That's right.
Ah, very good.
Anyone need a welder?
Let's just hope it's at the right angle now.
Yeah. I get home, it's like fucking meant to be that way instead of that way.
He'll blame me because I was the one that held it while he tacked it on.
Yeah.
It'll be my fault. Yeah, even amongst fabricators, aluminium's just
Oh, it is.
the
It's
worst
a
thing.
fucking prick. Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit of a gay. Actually, no. Brass is worse.
Yeah, okay.
Brass is like.
Righto guys, Adam's got all his intake pretty much welded up, so take that home, get it on the car, probably tomorrow, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
I got my oil cooler all mounted up, so I've got what I wanted to get done today done, so it's been a pretty successful day all around. So anyway, we are just gonna pack up and head home, because obviously I came out with Adam, and Adam's gotta get home today, so. Like I said, we're 13 days out from Matsuri. I'm hoping to be back out here this week to get my hot side sorted. I've got to go get all the stuff that I need for that probably tomorrow. I'll go pick that up and hopefully be back out here this week to sort that out. I would like to have the car completely sorted, ready to go at least a week before Matsuri. That would be nice. That would be great. So that's the aim. I'm going to try that. So thanks for watching, guys, and hope you enjoyed it. We will see you on the next one. Peace.